Welcome back to Tech, Tesla, and Trends. Tonight, we're going to discuss Module 7, Alien Dreadnought, otherwise known as manufacturing. It is the machine that makes the machine. And in this case, as you look at what Elon's accomplished through his teams, you have gigafactories that are capable of kicking out millions of vehicles in a given year. Now, many people will say, oh no, that's not quite there yet. But the reality of what has been designed and how it iterates and how the square footage is utilized more efficiently with each year, millions is the right answer. And as you look at what's going on with the overall manufacturing process, the most important question is, can the process be improved? In every case, I think the answer is yes, from their perspective. They are always seeking to innovate and iterate. When you think about the first Tesla factory, it was just an old NUMMI factory that had been, at one point, the motivation for the Toyota Way. And an interesting book, if you're interested, on a side note there. But anyways, the innovation process has completely taken over there in California and changed the way that factory operates. Now, was it big enough to accomplish all the needs that Tesla had initially? No. In fact, they ended up installing some portions of the gigapress in the parking lot. So you look at what's going on and you realize that there's iteration going on. Part of the assembly for Model 3s was done in tents. And it's that same sort of thing has occurred out at SpaceX at Starbase, Texas, because what they're doing is iterating until they reach a point of productivity. They do the best they can with what they've got, and they keep that startup mentality at every level. This is something that a lot of existing companies kind of look at with a upturned nose and, oh, why would we do such a thing? We've got the money. It's not about the money, it's the mindset. And this is where Alien Dreadnought comes into play. It's the rapid action now, and that whole module 2, step 2 that I was talking about in a previous video, which is the rapid action now. Test your solution, iterate as required, and never give up. So that is the process that Tesla utilizes on their manufacturing floor. I remember Joe Justice talking about the way that they were iterating, literally on the fly, with the next Tesla model that was going out, having those innovations that had been approved through their process. By giving every Tesla employee and by anyone that's actually working in the company the numbers and the ability to understand what's going on, it enables those individuals to utilize creativity, their brain, the reason they were hired, to innovate and to find new and better ways. So that is part of how Tesla manufacturing is so much more efficient and such a rapid force for change. In many other companies, that change process is at a minimum of a decade long, and it's the planning and the whole process, just it takes decade literally to change, and in some cases it's longer. Well, at that rate, they're going to be disrupted. There's no questions asked. When Tesla can iterate in an hour for entire portions of their factory, of the vehicles that are coming out, either remove a part or change something that is causing difficulties, or make it even better, as can occur. Again, the best parts, no part; best process, no process. As Tesla iterates and improves the machinery that is making their products, they're able to combine and improve things. I remember one of the things they were discussing about the 4680 cell line is that from the time it began till I think it was about 3 months ago, they were talking about how they had already changed the machines that are making the batteries. No other company would even do that. And the reason they did that was because they were running into some difficulties with how it was laying down. And as you look at those changes, that rapid iteration, that's what makes Tesla manufacturing able to turn on a dime, and they will continue to run rings around their competition, because there is no competition where Tesla stands. Looking at that whole process, though, it's important to keep that innovative edge. And that's one of the reasons why the information is provided to all employees there on the factory floor. They can see at a glance whether they're winning or not. So innovation until the product reaches its desired numbers is really what they're after. But at the same time, once that number of vehicles per month is reached or achieved, is that good enough for Tesla? Nope. They'll iterate and innovate again and try to make it more, just a little bit more, squeezing out either an improved square footage or an improved process, or even a deletion of a part or process. And right now they're kicking out cars at a rate of 1 every 30 seconds. I would not be surprised to see them by the end of next year somewhere in that 20, maybe, who knows, maybe they're able to cut it in half. They do try to grow by 50%, so part of that would have to be made up in a speed of process. Now, the overall growth that occurs is part of making the machine that makes the machine and improving those processes. And ultimately, the goal is to build more lines, build more factories, and build more partnerships like they've done with Panasonic there in Nevada. The efficiency with which Tesla does all of those things, and by association also SpaceX and some of the others that are beginning to build their manufacturing, this is what is at the heart of this module. It's learning to make things better, faster, and at a pace that cannot be matched by your competitors. And that is why Elon will often say that prototypes are easy, manufacturing is hard. Yes, it is. And it requires consideration, and it requires the movement of your materials and your people and all the rest of that in a way that delivers value at the end of the manufacturing line. So I'd love to get your take on that. That's down in the comment section, and we can discuss this in more detail. And I'm sure there's suggestions that some of you may have, or things that you think I missed, but we'll have that conversation down in the comments. For now, have a good night.